Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Beyond the Grandstand. We missed last week's episode for various reasons I'll go into soon enough. I'm Alex.
I'm Mark.
I'm Stefano. Olive oil, baklava, baklava. Greeky, Greeky!
That isn't racist at all, is it?
And welcome to Beyond the Grandstand.
Greeky, Greeky. The hell? Baklava, balaclava, baklava. Olive oil.
Grub!
Greeky,
Hang on.
Greeky.
Hang on. Big grubbed. Opa!
Oompa. It's Oompa, you idiot.
Oh my god.
Let me just.
You could have Greek
let me just
people
smash a plate.
be watching to crack you open,
Oh my
Mark.
God.
Let me just smash a plate in sorrow.
I think we're getting
No, you
demonetized.
smash a plate for celebration, you plonk. You don't smash a plate at someone's funeral. Oh, smash. Oh, he had a great life, didn't he?
Smash. Oh my god.
Oh, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, oofed. So, obviously, I'll just run through some quick headlines. This is going to be mainly a discussion episode, so I'll just quickly explain why we missed last week's episode. We commentated the Japanese Grand Prix live. The week before, we did segments in separate episodes because I went on holiday. I was away, so I was unable to record. And then last week, we commentated the Japanese Grand Prix, and pretty much everything we needed to say was in that. Plus, Mark was unwell for a couple of days. We were going to push the recording back a bit, but then I was a bit busy as well, and Stefano couldn't do it last week either. So we eventually worked out. I mean, we did the live recording, so it wasn't overly necessary. So we ended up just working out that we can just cram more into this episode. So first of all, MotoGP Championship has been sealed by Marc Marquez quite a few weeks ago. He hit an 8
Can we
ball.
just?
Yep.
Can we just talk about that for a second with him sealing the championship? You do realize that there are MotoGP fans that say F1 is boring because the same person wins all the time.
Points at MotoGP. How many different world champions have there been in the past 60 years? Like what, 3?
No, can't be 3. More like 2.
Yeah, what, Rossi and Marquez. And Surtees.
Oh, and Stoner.
And Stoner. So yeah, what, 4? Yeah.
Hang on, let me turn down the gain on my mic.
6 Hours of Fuji. Round 2 of the World Endurance Championship.
Wait. Oh, that happened?
So 6 Hours of Fuji. Can you have a guess who got a 1-1-1-2-2-2?
I don't know. I'm going to guess because it was basically a processional. I'm going to guess Toyota.
Oh yeah, but this time it was the other car. Obviously, car 2, which was Mike Conway, Kamui Kobayashi, and Jose Maria Lopez, won in Silverstone. Sebastian Buemi, Brendan Hartley, and Kazuki Nakajima won in Fuji. There was Rebellion Racing, got P3 with Gustavo Menendez, Norman Nato, and Bruno Senna. And they're now, Toyota Gazoo Racing are now first, and second in the championship still.
Just a reminder, if you ever want to know the results of the WEC race, just look at the previous 5 years. It's basically going to be the same.
Ever since Porsche left.
Yeah.
So LMP1 were dominant. They were the winners of LMP1. LMP2 was won by Nick De Vries and Guido van der Garde. So Racing Team Netherlands did pretty well.
Yeah, I thought the Guido's Twitter was a bit quiet the past weekend.
He's probably getting absolutely smashed.
He's going to tweet some F1 drivers.
Yeah, basically. LMGTE Pro was won by Marco Sorensen and Nicky Thin in the Aston Martin number 95. And LMGTE Amateur was won by Jonathan Adam, Charlie Eastwood, and Sally Yuluk in the TF Sport, number 90, which would be the Aston Martin Vantage AMR. So that was Fuji. Bathurst 1000 was won by Scott McLaughlin and Alexander Pramat. Don't know if Mark, you want to say something about that?
I mean,
Nothing nice.
yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna save my ranting for the other sections, just so
Yeah,
I
later
don't
on.
give you too much
We'll
work.
do that in taking the pits.
We're gonna get a community guideline strike for what I'm gonna
Alright,
say.
we'll wait till later on then. Japanese Grand Prix, obviously, if you didn't watch our commentary or if you didn't watch the race, we had Lewis Hamilton in third, Sebastian Vettel in second, and Valtteri Bottas taking quite a impressive win. We had Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen have quite a good collision at the start, as did Alex Albon and Lando Norris. Alex Albon finished fourth. Carlos Sainz was fifth after running third and fourth throughout most of the race. And Daniel Ricciardo was promoted to sixth because Charles Leclerc was penalised. However, Renault
No, you can't
still
say
have
that yet.
trouble.
You can't say that yet.
That's what I just said. Yeah,
Still provisional.
that's what I
he's still
said. Renault
provisional.
still may get disqualified or penalised due to a inquest made by Racing Point.
Well, the longer it's taking, the more better feeling I have.
It also means a bigger investigation they're doing, the deeper they're digging.
Always, if they had already found something, they would have released a statement.
So that's the first discussion topic. Racing Point, Renault. I mean, we've pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Racing Point thought that Renault were adjusting their brake bias to be circuit specific, which is obviously possible and illegal, but the question is, did they do it, did they not?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I think no.
They're probably thinking, how are they doing so well now from where they were? So they're probably grasping at straws.
Yeah, and people may say it's a 12-page report, but heaps that could just be just filler, like just absolute filler. It's just something doesn't. I just don't see anything coming of it. Because if it was cut and dry, like Racing Point are thinking it is, because it is a very cut and dry rule. It's not a rule you can skirt around. It's a yes or no.
Mm.
So it'd be very similar to the Haas rule. They'd literally be able to find it in the logs, and it'd be an instant yep, no.
Yeah. Also, quick note that we need to make brutally clear: Sebastian Vettel did not jump the start.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
He didn't pass. He did not cross the line in front of his grid slot. Therefore, he did not jump the start.
I mean, if you want to make that argument, technically Bottas jumped the start too because he reacted to Vettel.
Exactly.
Please, if you're going to cry and complain for Vettel not getting a penalty, you better ask for one for Bottas as well.
Well, they probably want. Most of the people complaining, want a penalty to both Vettel and Bottas so Hamilton can win. Because we know exactly demographic are actually complaining.
Yeah, a bunch of absolute dirty Hamilton fans.
Yeah. Basically, if you don't cross the line at the front of your grid slot, which Vettel didn't, he managed to stop before that, it's not a jump start.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it's not.
Antonio Giovinazzi, just in general.
He's showing up.
But where the hell was he?
On F2.
Yeah, I mean, 10th qualified. He's a better qualifier than he is a racer. Qualified 7th in Austria. Finished 10th.
Now, this is probably wrong, but has he only shown up in such a way like that because of the Hulkenberg factor?
Maybe, or maybe because he's just taken him that long because he hasn't driven in a year.
True. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right.
And yeah, so basically, and then he finished 8th in Hockenheim, but then got penalised for Alfa Romeo's driver aids, which was obviously out of his control. So I hold nothing.
But look at that.
I hold nothing against him there.
Their driver aids were discovered quickly. That's another thing for the whole Renault argument.
Yeah, exactly. And Giovinazzi, obviously Belgium, running 9th all race, crashed out. In
No real
Monza,
pressure,
he had a
completely his
hell of a
fault.
race in Monza. He was 6th for a very long time. Still finished in the points, could have finished higher, but he couldn't defend his position. Singapore had a very good race, finished P10, led for nearly 5 laps. Yeah. Since then he's had a point here and there, but yeah, I think basically just him in general. McLaren. Sorry, I just yelled.
McLaren!
Stefano does that every day.
I wake up yelling, McLaren Mercedes!
That's Stefano's safe word.
Oh no.
McLaren,
Yeah,
McLaren! Ugh.
Talking about McLaren, I'm quite happy to hear that Mercedes will be coming back as an engine supplier for McLaren, even though there won't be a works team.
Something tells me it's not going to go right. I know everyone's hopeful, but I've just got
The
a
Mercedes power
bad
unit
feeling.
isn't that good.
It's
I just want to see Mika
reliable.
Hakkinen come back.
You can watch the historic
Mika
Grand Prix
Hakkinen.
series. He does still race in it. Historic Grand Prix
does he?
series. Mika Hakkinen races in it. Yes. So does Eddie Irvine. And
No,
Riccardo
he wouldn't
Patrese.
do that. Rightio. I don't think we'll ever get a McLaren Mercedes back.
Yeah, the Mercedes power unit is a lot more reliable than the other power units. Well, the Spec 1 and Spec 2
Wait. What did you just say? It's a lot more what?
reliable.
Sure about that?
I said the Spec 1 and Spec 2 are.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, it's not as fast as the other units, but it takes a lot, and it can take a lot more of a beating as well.
You know what I miss? I miss how teams before all this happened, how teams used to have their own, their own sponsors who would make engines for them. You didn't have this you have 6 teams who are using Mercs, these many teams who are using Honda engines, and these many teams using this engine. You had teams that you're using, McLaren, Mercedes, Arrow, Supertech.
I mean, it's been like that. No, it's been like been customer engines for a long time. I think ever since the mid '90s, you'd argue that it's been that way of teams using the multiple of the same engine.
Well, even in the '90s, they were still like Ferrari or Ford or Cosworth engines, but they were rebadged.
Yeah.
The Supertech engine was amazing, but fortunately.
Okay, listen, engines. Best engine of F1 in F1 history.
M12/13 BMW 1981 to 1987.
Really?
Most powerful and fastest engine in F1 history.
The Arrow Supertech A21. I
can't remember its designation, but just for what it did to its competition, what it did for the entirety of F1, the first Mercedes turbo hybrid engine.
Yeah, it was overpowered.
Yes, you could argue that the Supertech and the BMW were extremely powerful, but at least then there was still competition around, right?
I mean, BMW, not really.
Still competition. There was still competition.
Especially, actually, not the M12/13, but the 2003 BMW V10 was the second fastest engine in F1 history, second only to the other BMW. And it was leaps and bounds faster than any other engine, except its drivers were... Well, it was during the Schumacher dominance, and it was racing against Michael Schumacher and Kimi Raikkonen and Fernando Alonso and Jarno Trulli.
Yeah, it was close to beating the F2004, wasn't it?
F2002, yeah. And I mean,
yeah, the O2. Sorry.
yeah, well, I mean, just as dominant, and it almost won the constructors as well.
Okay.
What an engine.
I guess our next talking point is McLaren losing a big sponsor.
Yeah.
Petrobras.
What is that going to do to their money? What's that going to do to the Mercedes
Who's going to
deal?
lubricate them? That's like saying Mercedes lose Petronas. Or Renault lose Castrol.
They're just going to use Fernando Alonso's tears from leaving once McLaren got good.
It's going to go from
Fernando.
GP2
Come on,
engine
Fernando,
to GP3.
Look, we're fourth in the constructors and we've scored over 100 points. There you are. Let's get these tears all over this engine.
It's going to go from GP2. It's going to go from GP2 engine to GP3 very quick.
Okay. So, I guess, do you guys want to make a statement on the McLaren losing their sponsor?
Well, sponsors have been moving around the grid all the time and leaving the grid with other sponsors coming in. So really, I'm not too worried about it.
They'll get someone else.
Yeah, but it's
They'll
a big
definitely
money
get
deal.
someone else.
Yeah.
If they get Petronas, they'll be weird.
They won't. They'll.
Then, what next? Mercedes and McLaren actually do merge.
I mean, they could.
No, Mercedes and McLaren merge, but you still have a Mercedes and a McLaren team, so it's Mercedes versus McLaren, Mercedes versus McLaren.
So, the next point. This is a big one. Future drivers of F1, drivers in Junior Series, F2, F3, F4s, all the Junior Open Wheelers. Who do you reckon has potential to get into F1 and is fast right now?
Mick Schumacher.
Your one and only choice?
I have my hopes up for him.
So do I. I actually have a big list, so I'll wait for Alex to say his.
I'm just writing some down. All right, so I think Marcus Armstrong and Robert Schwartzman, Yuri Vips, Ralph Aron has shown performance. I think Schwartzman, Armstrong, and Yuri Vips are all phenomenal. Mick Schumacher, but I think he needs another year in F2 first. But I think he'll,
of course, yeah.
If he gets another year of experience, he'll be ready. Hadrian David, he just won the French Formula 4 Championship. He's obviously shown a lot of performance in a very long time. He's the youngest person to ever win the Formula 4 Championship. He's only 15. Yeah. Roman Stanek, he's from the Czech Republic. He's very good as well. And I also think I've also been like, obviously I'm kind of under duress for saying this, but I kind of want to say Julian Hanses.
Okay, mine. I'm willing to bet there's some of these drivers that you have never heard of. So, I've got Marcus Armstrong.
What was that?
Okay, I'll restart. I've got Marcus Armstrong.
Yep.
Yuri Vips, Robert Schwartzman, and Christian Lundgaard. All showing great potential in Formula 3. I've got Mick Schumacher, Zhao. Can't say it, I'm sorry.
Was that French?
Guangwang. It's Guangwang. Guangzhong. Zhao. I'm calling him Zhao.
Guangzhong?
I'm calling him Zhao.
Zhao, right. Oh, we got that much. Okay.
Mariano Sato.
We're gonna get demonetized. Yep.
Mariano Sato, Dennis Hager, Teo Porcher, Oscar Piastri, and Zane Maloney.
Oh, who else? There's the Brazilian driver who was in Prema. He was in Prema. can't remember his name. Hang on, I'm gonna try and find
If
it.
you can't remember him, he can't be that good. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his name.
Drogovic.
Yes!
Drogovic.
Yes! 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 I was about to say Maurizio Gugelmin, but then I thought that wasn't right. Stefano, I was about to say Gugelmin.
No.
I was betting for you, honestly.
Yeah, I think my ones are pretty
Yeah,
solid
we've all
and
got a few
all
good ones.
arguable. Alex, did I say any names that you don't recognise?
Porsche. I mean, I've
Porsche.
heard. I mean, I've heard of him, but I don't know much about him. Like, I don't really know anything about him.
ADAC Formula 4 champion.
Nice.
Hauger was runner-up. I'm guessing you know Oscar Piastri, because... Yeah, yes. guessing you've... I'm guessing you've heard of him.
I don't think Mark gets it.
Oh no, I get it.
Oh, he gets it.
Hey, Alex,
Alex,
that
you
joke
better
doesn't...
bleep
Alex,
this out.
Alex, that joke doesn't...
It's gonna
Alex,
get political real quick.
Jody
Alex,
Scheckter's
you know
gonna
that joke
sue us.
doesn't... Alex, that joke just...
Oh, speaking of that, we should
Alex,
probably say
that
something
joke...
like that. Yep.
Alex, your joke that you just made doesn't...
This is gonna get really political, guys.
Okay.
Was that... Hey, Alex, was that joke a...
Okay, on that note,
I don't know you two, seriously.
before we get on to the controversial subjects, first of all, obviously we offer our condolences to the Scheckter family. Daughter of 1979 World Drivers' Champion Jody Scheckter's daughter. I think I already said that. I don't know. Isla Scheckter passed away in her sleep at the age of 21 due to an overdose on prescription medication that she was using to treat seizures. Apparently, seizures were appearing at night while she was asleep and causing more damage. She just had a brain tumor surgically removed, and actually developed epilepsy from the surgery, and was so scared of having another seizure at night time that she took an extra bit of medication just to be extra sure that it wasn't happening overnight. So she took some extra medication when she went to bed at night, and actually accidentally overdosed on it and died in her sleep of that. And the news articles are not really sharing what should be shared, because a lot of the headlines are simply saying daughter of Jody Scheckter dies of overdose, and that I find that very inappropriate, as it's kind of gives the vibe that she was on or something. Whereas it was very, like, it wasn't a sort, like, she wasn't doing every day in that and like getting
It it gives ordinary people the wrong picture.
Exactly. It sends the wrong message. The wording is very, very deceptive.
Loose.
And that reflects badly on the Scheckter family as well.
They got the headlines saying that, and then in the story they actually explain what happened. See,
Well, they
should
say it
have
at the
in
end of the story
headlines
as well.
properly. Yeah. Fake news.
Exactly. So, controversial subjects now. If you are a fan of Alex Albon, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, or Lewis Hamilton, or Tatiana Calderon, you may want to stop watching this now, because they're about to get nuked.
Oh, no. Leclerc isn't going to get nuked, and neither is Lando.
No, I didn't say
No
Lando.
promises for... Neither... Well, same thing goes... Well, opposite goes for Verstappen, Hamilton, and if there are actually any that exist, Calderon fans. They're about to get a ripped.
What? Is that a threat?
What? What? I'm off.
Stefano,
No, not...
Alright,
What?
we'll quickly do predictions, and then we'll go to the other topics. Prediction! I mean, if worst comes to worst, we can do prediction, quickly run through the other 3 topics, and then Mark can tell us if
Tatiana
Tatiana's scored a
Cauldron.
point yet, and then Stefano and I can take the pits out of some classics. So predictions for Mexico. I was doing the finger
Don't
movement.
put that in there. You'll
I
become
was-
the next Richard Hammond.
I
For
was,
Christ's
I was
sake.
doing finger movements.
I'm surprised Mexico can even. I mean, aren't they? I mean, it must be the
What
laziest.
the from all the goddamn
I don't know you two. I don't know you two. Stop. Stop. I don't want to get shamed by PR. Stop.
There's a car in the gravel, and we'll get. Let's have a.
Daniel Ricciardo had enough time to walk around and put on a
Are
to the,
you
all
guys
the fan.
drunk or on drugs or something?
Mexico predictions.
I'm at a loss. Okay, I'm.
Red Bull. I mean, higher altitude,
Like, no,
you need more air intake.
my predictions are. Leclerc, Hamilton, Verstappen.
And if Valtteri Bottas is outscored by Hamilton by, I believe it is, hang on,
14 points.
75, yeah, 14 points, which is unlikely, realistically. I think the championship, I don't believe will be sealed this race. I think it'll be sealed later on because 14 points is a big margin.
I think it will be sealed this race.
Because when you think of how far ahead the Mercedes are, they'll have to be quite a few places different.
No, dude, it's not as bad as you think. Because remember, if Hamilton finishes first, but for Valtteri to stay in the competition, he needs to finish at least fourth with fastest lap.
Well, no, that's if Hamilton gets fastest lap.
Fourth.
If Hamilton gets fastest lap, Bottas needs to finish fourth. And if Hamilton doesn't get fastest lap, Bottas needs to finish fifth.
No, dude, you're getting it wrong.
No,
if Hamilton finishes
do the math again.
first, okay, if Hamilton finishes first,
Hamilton first, no F lap equals 25 points. Oh yeah. No, you're right. Well, it's fourth either way. It's fourth either way.
Yeah, but he needs fourth with fastest lap in the competition.
Hamilton
could
first
get wrapped up
with F lap. Well, it's 26, and Bieber's fourth anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fourth anyway. Wait, how the hell? Wait a minute. It's 11. No. Valtteri doesn't need fastest lap.
Let's do predictions.
If he finishes fourth, he doesn't need fastest lap.
Okay, predictions.
Actually, Valtteri can finish fifth with fastest lap, and he'll be right.
So I think it's So you've got my podium. I think it'll be a pretty. I think it's going to be all. I think it's going to be 2 by 2 by 2 by not 2 by 2, but I reckon it's only going to be 5 teams in the points.
Yeah, I think either 5, 6, or 7. Not any more than that.
I think it's going to be 5 teams in the points. I think it's going to be an absolute slaughter for some of the lower teams. Mexico.
Yeah. Last year, every Spanish-speaking driver retired.
Sergio Perez would like a word with you. He didn't retire, did he?
Yeah, he did. Perez retired, Alonso retired, Sainz retired, and Ricciardo retired.
Yeah, with the clutch problem.
Mm.
The clutch.
In other words, remotely detonated by Red Bull for outscoring Max in qualifying.
Yeah, you can tell Red Bull weren't too pleased with that.
Verstappen mowed down a number board. So...
But no, so my prediction is going to be...
Yeah.
I don't know why, just something is telling me, once again, that Renault could be better than McLaren here.
I think that we could
Or
see.
mix?
Well, McLaren were very strong last year, as were Renault. They were both in the points last year with their remaining car, 'cause both of them only had one car left. One finished
Yeah, but
P6 and the other,
also
and
think
the
about the
McLaren finished P8.
think about the two tracks you compare it to. Really, you compare it to Singapore and you compare it to Hungary.
Mm. It's a mix between. Oh, it's almost a mix between Baku and Hungary.
Oh, yeah. So I just have a feeling Renault's going to do well there. Or it's literally going to be only the top 5 teams in the points.
I
That's
think, yeah. I
that's
mean,
a
yeah.
that's not their prediction. I know.
I think Red
But have
Bull
we had a
will do
race
well
like
as
that
well.
yet? I don't think Red Bull's going to do as well as we thought. Because remember, finished ahead of Red Bull if their strategy was good in Singapore. Right now, it looks like Ferrari and Mercedes are better than what Red Bull's normally better at.
Also, what was I going to say? Red Bull, Max Verstappen's won there 2 years in a row now, with Lewis Hamilton winning in 2016, Nico Rosberg winning in 2015, I think. And I don't even ask the year before that. Oh no, there was no Mexican Grand Prix in 2014. Yes, so Lewis Hamilton's only won this one once, I believe. Stefano, what do you think about this weekend, Mexico? Apart from me taking you out.
I have a good feeling that one of the Red Bull drivers is going to be in pole.
Well,
But
they
I'm
locked
kind of
out the
leaning.
front row last year. Front row lockout in 2018.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I just have a gut feeling that one of the Red Bull drivers is going to finish
I mean,
first or second.
Stefano's gut has been more accurate than either of our scientific predictions all year when you look at it.
No, in bingo, I'm still ahead of him. My gut is just as accurate as his.
I know. I honestly think that one of the Red Bull cars are going to end up in either first or second in
My gut's telling me
in
podium, but
Mexico.
I don't think first. My gut's saying that. I mean, they
Uh,
could be second, but my gut is
you know
saying
what? I'll
podium
throw in
only.
third in there, but I'm really leaning towards either first or second for some reason right now.
I'm feeling a podium, but not. Alex is sketching this all down, ready to catch up in bingo, listening to our guts.
Well, you know, then you got
Okay.
I'm going to have
Albon
to
and
listen to this
Max.
video about 5 more times whilst editing it, so I don't need to write it down right now.
So, guys, are we going to see a safety car or a VSC?
VSC, I think yes. VSC definitely. Safety car, maybe not.
Unless there's a crash at turn 5.
Yeah, I think VSC, but I don't feel a safety car coming.
Unless someone's
Are
in
we
the
going to see the
gravel.
whole field finish?
No,
we
actually,
gonna
you're wrong. The safety car does come out. The safety car will come out for certain.
Okay.
Really?
And
Will
I
it?
know this because you see it at the start of every race, you got the safety car at the back of the grid.
That's a medical car.
Yeah.
It's a medical
Is
car, not
it?
a safety car, yeah. Just in case there's a massive
Never
first lap
mind.
incident.
Never mind.
So, are we going to see all the cars finish?
No.
How
You're
many
gonna
are we
have
going
at
to see
least
finish?
you're gonna have at least one crash or retirement.
I mean, okay. Do we want to just switch over, quickly run through Albon versus Norris? Who was it for?
Albon should have got a penalty.
Albon.
Albon 100%. Albon should have got a penalty.
You know, I'll be honest. The initial bits of that incident reminded me a lot of the '88 Grand Prix with Senna and Prost. When
Careful what you're saying there.
What do you mean? No, like the initial bit of as they were entering the corner, they budged each other on the side, but the outcome wasn't the same. It was a nice touch. I liked it.
I think he should have got a penalty. Personally.
Didn't one of them just drive straight through the chicane, or
Yeah,
was it because they couldn't
Norris
steer?
got wiped out, so he had to go through the chicane because Albon smashed into him.
He couldn't get penalised for that, right?
No.
Ah,
True.
okay.
Someone
But
might
they
be able to
penalised-
argue that he should have used an escape road, but it was already past it.
Senna
I'm
used
saying,
an
like,
escape road.
No, I just want to make it clear that Albon should have got penalised.
And what else have we got?
It's clear that one of them made. It's clear that one of them made the move too late.
Leclerc and Verstappen. I say racing incident. What do you say?
Racing incident.
I think equally responsible. There was no avoidance.
Next.
You reckon he saw him when that happened on
It-
turn one?
No.
What, during the S's?
I mean,
No, I don't think he saw him.
what about Lewis Hamilton nearly getting decapitated by Leclerc's mirror? And end plate. Because a mirror and an end plate. Because, first of all, an end plate flew up like a shuriken and nearly sliced Hamilton's head off.
Remember, he can't see his end plate when it's damaged.
No, I'm saying, yeah. So that happened, and then obviously the mirror thing went down and wiped out Hamilton's mirror and nearly and destroyed the side of his car as well.
Once again, he should not have got a penalty for that. For the simple fact that FIA failed to follow their own rule with the black flag with orange disc.
Yeah.
He didn't have to come in. He had no obligation to pit unless that flag was shown to him, and it was not. So he had free reign to continue on the track. So therefore, no penalty. It's plain and simple. Should he have gotten black with orange disc penalty flag? Yes, he should have pitted. But was he shown it? No. So he has every right to continue on the track.
And I think, if anything,
Exactly.
Ferrari were just bad judgment.
I mean,
because they were arguing amongst themselves whether or not to, do something.
as he has no obligation to pit. It's plain and simple.
Yeah.
And I think I win one of the little bingo things because haha, external failure.
We gave you that.
Oh, I must be losing my mind. Then sorry.
So, Mark, you wanted to say something about Lewis Hamilton, and you didn't actually tell us what it was. So that sounds reassuring. Are we going to get banned?
He's just said he's got three. I mean, he's got his normal one. He's got
his
his
auxiliary
normal
one and his backup one, right?
No, he's got his normal one. He's got that thing on his mouth that's just. I'm assuming that's not. Although some people call it his mouth, and then the one that I'm about to tear him.
Oh my god.
That could be classed as a threat in some cases.
Oh, right. I mean, to the audacity to call out his fans like that and act so high and mighty. Oh, I'm on a vegan diet. I'm saving the planet. Yeah, well, you fly around in your own personal jet to get to each race because you're too good.
You literally
share with
pulled
the other
over.
drivers.
You pulled over one of your two LaFerraris in order to tweet about going vegan to save the environment. There's literally a photo of you pulled over on the side of the road in one of your LaFerraris tweeting about the environment. I mean, at least he pulled over to do the tweet. Like, he pulled over to whip his phone out. But yeah, so.
Well, yeah, he wasn't using his phone when driving, so that's
something.
That's pretty good.
That's something.
Well, Mark, it was good having you along, and I hope you have a good night. Marcus had to leave. Marcus had to leave abruptly because the police has started to knock on his door for death threats.
Yeah. Next up, has Tatiana scored a point yet? Drum roll.
Yes, she actually has.
Has she, though?
In dreams.
In dreams. And we've just got it like a couple of minutes left. I'm going to leave soon as well. Quickly, do we want to take the pits out of a classic?
Yeah, why not? Let's take the pits out of the classics. Wait, what?
Oh, I have to leave too.
Out of the classics.
Rip. I mean, okay.
Wait a minute. Why do I have a feeling that he's calling you? And we had to cut it short due to some
unforeseen circumstances.
Unforeseen circumstances. We'll see you next week. Good night and Goodbye.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.